Hello everyone, it's been a while, but I had a friend recently ask me based on a discussion to put a video up. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. The video the video will be, not necessarily, but the topic was basically street harassment. It was based on an article that was posted along with a video that was in the article, excuse me, and the article's title was something like, "We done told y'all we don't owe you a hello," talking about the interaction between black men and black women. And they had a video where there was a very pretty young lady who was approached by a young guy, and my focus initially was on the video. Let me start by saying the title of the article I thought was extremely disrespectful. It's almost like saying, because it was basically the interaction of black men and black women, basically telling black men we don't owe you a hello, which is basically like saying we don't owe you any respect, which in fact, to me, black men can turn around and say we don't owe you respect either. We have to be careful of how we interact and the things that we say to people and ask ourselves, is that how we want to be treated? The video kind of got me because I thought the little girl in the video was nasty. And I don't understand why so many women are supporting that she was nasty. And I heard everybody kept arguing. It's funny because I just recently researched the skeleton man. Scarecrow or some man. I can't even think of the name, but the straw man. That's what it is. I recently started researching the straw man and realized that people don't go direct at topics anymore. They go side. Like, you want to add a bunch of unnecessary, unrealistic possibilities and worst case scenarios so you can win an argument and be right. I believe that we have discussions so we can learn from one another and we can grow and we can gain more information. And I'm finding that a lot of people don't know how to do that. But it was interesting because I had some females tell me that, and even one gentleman say, well, obviously you want to be stalked around the store. I didn't see the young lady being stalked. What I saw was a video of the man approaching the girl, and when he approached her, he asked her name, and she said, "I don't have a name." And then they went back and forth talking about each other, was rude, and that was the end of the video. Well, maybe I'm a little older, but I remember when we were younger, if you didn't want to give a guy your name, you didn't give him your name. You gave him another name. Gave him another name, and you kept it moving. You weren't interested. Didn't want to give him your number, you gave him another number, kept it moving. Maybe this generation hasn't been taught those things. And I'm not even going to say that that's the best way to handle a situation. I'm older now. I can handle the situation a lot better than I used to. But maybe these are conversations that mothers and older sisters should be having with their siblings, because the world is not all puppy dogs and roses, and you never know how crazy somebody is. You really never know. I think you can get a sense, but I think a lot of our intuition in this country is turned off for whatever reason. So I think like I said, the response was nasty, and I was kind of taken aback by how many women thought the response was okay, basically giving me scenarios that were never in the video. I'm just going off of what I see. I don't want to brain read or add anything else into what I see. What I saw was the girl being nasty. Now, what was interesting is she goes back later to explain it, because I guess everybody was saying really disrespectful things to the way that she acted, which went overboard too. She basically was saying how another guy approached her, said something very vile to her, very just nasty, and talking about she wants to see him too. Well, the reality is we have to understand, as human nature, there's a domino effect. So since stupid dude says something to you, you closed off any possibility to anything, including the guy who approached you with manners, because stupid says something to you. And I think that even though I don't like this word, this is how we block our blessings. The one book that I would probably recommend anybody read is Celestine Prophecies. It talks about nothing happens by accident. You meet people on purpose. You're supposed to learn, and it talks about how we give and take energies. And everything around us is energy. So I think we need to learn how to once again communicate with people. When I talk to my father talks about when he was in school, they had etiquette classes. So you learn the proper response to how do you do is how do you do. You didn't say, oh, my feet hurt, my back hurt, my money's not here. You didn't go into all those things. You just had a general, natural response to a stranger, or I guess the people that you knew. We've lost that. We've gotten into emojis and everything else on the computer and on the phone that we no longer know how to speak to one another. And we actually justify nasty and bad behavior as being the norm now. And I find it interesting because if you ever catch yourself looking at videos, you ever notice that now you see animals of different species that should be enemies that are actually able to get along and play? You see, there's a video I think recently where the guy is sitting on his boat and a sea lion just jumps on the boat and lays on it. Animals sense that connection. How is it that we as human beings have so much garbage going in our heads that we have forgotten what connections are like? We are here to connect. We are here to exchange ideas, to grow, to experience things. And so many of us are walking around with a nasty attitude, don't want to speak, don't want to interact, that we cut off any possibility to something greater. And then, as a matter of fact, what really got me is one of the young ladies mentioned something about, you want to be nice to everybody, has something to do with loneliness. How does being nice have anything to do with loneliness? See, that tells me that somewhere inside you dwell in misery. Misery loves company. Misery is like a virus that spreads. You'll start with somebody having a bad attitude. They'll mess up somebody else's attitude and it just keeps going. I'd rather put a smile on somebody's face and let them keep that positive energy going. The problem that I have with the whole idea of street harassment is you have some women that are so overly sensitive that they think they don't know the difference between a gentleman and a jackass. If a man approaches you and talks about all the things he wants to do to you and how he wants to do to him, that man is a jackass. If a man approaches you and says, "Hey, sweetheart, you are beautiful. Your smile has made my day," that is not to be harassed. That's not harassment. That is a compliment. Keep it moving. He may not even want to know anything else from you from that moment. He might just wanted to let you know he appreciated your beauty and kept it moving. You know how like sometimes you'll see a flower and you stop and smell that flower? You're not ready to cut that flower and take that home, but you just want to stop for that moment and appreciate that flower. Have so many women got so big in their egos of how important they are that they've forgotten the basicness that they are just a flower. And as my father says, the African proverb is, a woman is a flower. A man is a fence to protect her. Be worthy of something of being protected. Have a good one.